Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel Become the Disruptor. My name is Magda. I'm a trauma-informed qualified therapist, and today we're going to be talking about something that crops up a lot, and this is a gap between people who had been born into nice families where they had been taught boundaries, relationships, how to handle money, how to handle failure, how to handle mistakes. And they had been given that knowledge through their caregivers modeling all of that for them, versus the people who hadn't. Because the thing is that I want you to look, and this gap is really rarely touched upon, because you have a lot of very intelligent people, highly self-aware, yet they cannot build the life that they truly want and they truly deserve. Why? Because a lot of the times they don't know how to build structures around them. They don't know how to handle money. They don't know how to handle relationships. They don't know how to handle conflict. They're scared of handling conflict. They're scared of confrontation. They don't know how to process their emotions. All of these guys, they are skills. They are life skills. If your caregivers haven't taught you them, then you lack a blueprint from like some really major life skills, because we're not even talking about here about intelligence in terms of high IQ. No, we're talking about intelligence that can build the life and create the life in which life you are happy and fulfilled. And the thing is that if you don't know, because again, there's a lot of very intelligent people who are really kind and they don't want to quote unquote blame their parents or something like that. Okay, so let's be real now. Look at your parents' life. Do you want to have a life like your parents? Do you want to be like your parents? And be honest. If not, then I suggest you look at what blueprints your parents have given you. Maybe your parents have given you a blueprint of always avoiding conflict or never saying no, because this is like maybe never feeling your emotions. Because the thing is that, guys, never negotiating, never saving money, or like money is, the root of all evil, whatever that is, that you learned from your parents' actions that you observe over, humongous amount of time. This is what you learn. This is your blueprint. So if you're not gonna learn a new blueprint, you're gonna have literally the life of your parents. Something very similar that just runs in the family. That's why families, they just look the same, because they passing on that blueprint of handling relationships, handling money, handling structures, handling communities. That's been passed on, and then you're like, I want more. Well, if you want more, or something different, because it's not even talking about more, just something different, then you have to change the blueprint. And changing that blueprint will require a very different type of work from you, it's almost like, because you have to and this is, the practical thing that I want you to look at. And please don't think of yourself as a bad person or unkind person. Just look at your parents' life and just write things down, how your parents' life looked like. Now, on the other side of paper, write down how your life looks like. Do you see similarities? Yep. Any similarities? Probably a lot, maybe, if you're watching this video, there's probably a lot. Still stuck. You're intelligent, but okay, maybe there's a lot of that, but you have 2 degrees, you've got doctorate, you've got, you speak 5 languages, whatever that is. Doesn't matter. The blueprint for building the structures that would support you, if it's not there, then your parents' life, just with 2 degrees and maybe 2 more languages. And so what? What about a partner? What about a family maybe that you want? What about making more money to have a more comfortable life, more quality life? So there is a solution. Of course there is, but it's almost like the solution itself is simple in the recipe, but it's difficult to execute because the execution will mean that you're gonna feel almost like betraying the old blueprint, because you know the blueprint that you inherited, like I said, handling conflict, boundaries, confrontation, money, all that. You have to really be like, okay, so there's quite a lot of areas of my life that I need to confront. Yeah. So you have to start then using your intelligence to be like, okay, then how do I start with this? So look at all the areas of your life. So look at, I don't know, love, friendships, community, money, and think about, okay, what it is now? What is now? What is happening now? So what is the current status quo? It's like I don't want you to like get overwhelmed with the past. It's like the past currently like is not necessary to delve into, and probably because you're already self-aware, you already analyzed it to the death. So let's just see what's now. So look at what's now and then think about, okay, what is on the priority list, what I would like to start with. Start with one area. So I don't know, could be friendship, could be money, you know, could be love, whichever. Pick one area and think about, okay, what's there that I find really uncomfortable? What my parents taught me about love, what my parents taught me about money, what my parents taught me about friendships, what did they taught me about, what I had been soaking up unconsciously from my parents. Look at your parents' friendships, look at your parents' relationships. If you know there was a relationship where maybe your parents are divorced, whatever that is, maybe you don't know your parents, maybe you had been adopted, okay, your adopted family, what you inherited from them. So you gotta be very specific, very precise, and this is where a therapy that will be focusing on the sequencing, on the behavioral change, on proper action is actually needed, and on holding you accountable. And the thing is that when you're gonna be making all these changes that actually matter, you're gonna feel a lot of fear, you're gonna feel a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of grief, all of that. You're gonna feel a lot of it. And because guys, I've been through that whole blueprint recreation, because I didn't inherit a nice blueprint that would, let's say, be able to create the life that I actually want. So I had to build everything from scratch. And the emotions that I had to face, and the same when I was working with my clients, the emotions that they had to face when they were rebuilding the blueprint for themselves, that requires a different level, elite level of nervous system regulation. So that's why you learn it. You're finding a therapist who can meet you there and teach you those nervous system regulation skills. And guys, there's nothing magical and mystical there, okay? You're just gonna find your therapist, just need to match, like, you know, something that's gonna work for you. But essentially, you have to be able to stay in the emotion, feel it, and not acting from it. And this is a very different level of a nervous system regulation. This is like a mastery of your body and your mind, and these working in unison, okay? And it's difficult. It's like I said, the recipe is simple, but the execution of it is very difficult. And like I said, I've been through that, guys. It's a journey. It's a journey. Now, I want you to also understand one thing. A lot of the self-help books, a lot of the psychological advice, and a lot of the therapists, they already assume that you have a good blueprint. So a lot of the books that you had been reading, content that you had been watching, and podcasts that you had been listening to, they like, look at the lives of these people. Did these people had to rebuild their life from scratch? If no, then there'll be a lot of their messaging will be probably not for you, because you haven't been there. It's not like that they are bad people or, like, you know, privileged people. You know, it's lovely that they had all these, you know, nice stuff in their life from the beginning, and they know how to create those structures because they know that implicitly, but you got to learn that explicitly, consciously. And that, like I said, requires a very different type of content watching. So I would say really watch content from people who really, really build their life from scratch. Not people who have been born into a really rich family, had been given, and then, I don't know, they, you know, took like a weird path, going to ayahuascas, you know, like these are not the people that you should be following. You have to start following and listening to people who are real people, real and based in real life, and build their life from scratch. So, and like I said, you know, when I had been going through my own therapeutic journey, finding the therapist that would match me, I couldn't find one, just because people just simply couldn't understand that what I, you know, let's say the degrees and let's say the intelligence that I had was not translated into a lot of life skills, actual life skills, when you can, you know, build sustainable life. I had the theory, but there was just like, how do I deal with this? And therapists who had been, you know, brought up into the structures that had been really well functioning, they couldn't understand, like, what is she on about? Like, just go and do it. Like, I'm like, but how? And this is where that gap was. And so you need to find a therapist who really kind of understands that. So look at, you know, people on social media. I would say I wouldn't look for like Psychology Today or Counseling Directory. You need someone specific, guys. So look at someone's contact, look at their feedback, whether they are able to get results with their clients, book a session and build and start building, because you absolutely can build the life that you want. You can have it. And it will just require some changes from your current situation, but you are able to do that. If I can do that, anyone can do that. It's literally, like I said, it's just a matter of executing, sticking with it, being patient, etc. So I trust that was helpful. If you want to book a session specifically with me, you've got the links down below. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe. And also, I will be, but that video is gonna be on Saturday. So I decided to hold like a monthly pattern labs meetings. You probably, if you're watching this video, you probably missed one, because there was one on the 26th of March. They will be held once a month, like I said, maximum 5 people. You're going to be able to ask me questions about your specific patterns and your specific behavior. I'm going to give you my feedback. So it's going to be happening in real time. So I just thought like it would be a nice thing to interact with you guys and learn something about you. You can learn about how I work. It's free session. I'm going to be holding one at the end of April as well, so you can apply. It's going to be first come, first serve basis, and I am absolutely not making it more than 5 people. I like intimate spaces. I like when people can actually, you know, freely express themselves. So I am not a crowd person in terms of, you know, that type of meetings, because they do require some vulnerability and emotional courage from you as well to share. Yeah. So if you're going to be interested in that, just email me and I'm going to let you know when it's going to be the next one. So you can basically just drop me an email, and then and then you can just meet. We're going to meet each other on Zoom. So I trust that video was helpful, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye bye.